Yo, what's up everyone? It's me again, back with another Path of Excel video. And in this video, I wanted to make like more of an informational kind of video. So you guys will have to let me know if you want more of these kinds of videos. But yeah, in this video, I wanted to talk about how do you calculate ailment effect in Path of Building? For example, how do you determine what goes here in the effect of chill box and also the effect of shock box? This has been a topic that has confused me personally for a long time, and probably it confused other people as well. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to calculate chill and shock effect just using the information available to you in Path of Building. No need for like an external calculator or like an external formula or anything like that. So yeah, let's just get started. So before we can get started with the calculations, we got to understand a couple things. So the first thing is that ailments in Path of Excel are calculated off of the base hit. So like, for example, if I have scorch and shock, both of those values will be calculated from the base hit. So like the shock does not make my scorch bigger and the scorch does not make my shock bigger. They're both calculated equally off of the base hit. The second thing is that Path of Building calculates these values based on your damage number. And if you increase your ailment number, Path of Building's calculations are going to be thrown off. So when you're calculating your ailment effect, you need to set all of your ailments to 0. That way you get an accurate number for your base hit. And then you also have to go to your ailment calculation mode and enable crits only. This is going to allow your ailments to be calculated off of your crits, which is basically like what your biggest ailment is going to be based off of, in addition to enabling critical ailment modifiers such as this critical mastery. So definitely set that to crits only. Now that we have crits only and then everything set to 0, every ailment, we can go ahead and go to the calcs tab and then look at our chill effect mod and shock effect mod. And I guess without saying here, you also need to set your calculation mode to effective DPS. This should be the default, but you need it to be effective DPS so that it accounts for all the different modifiers. So yeah, then what you're gonna do, so maybe we'll calculate chill effect first, right? So we'll go over here and we'll go ahead and click the chill effect mod box. And I'm gonna try to make this bigger so you can see what's going on. So you have this here, and here you know you're in the right spot because ailment mode is crits only. And then here you can see this 614 is your base hit. This is basically your average skill hit, but when you do a critical strike. So in this case, my value is 614. I do want to note that this is, I believe, your average, not your maximum. So like in theory, your ailment applied should be a little bit greater than what is displayed here, especially in the case of lightning damage. But for the purposes of like an easy calculation, going off of the average critical damage, I think is fine. So yeah, anyway, here below here, you have a chart, which is actually pretty useful. And in this chart, on the left, you have the ailment threshold of some enemy, and on the right, you have your resulting chill effect. So here you can see that the Pinnacle boss has ailment threshold of like 6 million. And here it shows 40% chill effect. So this basically means I will have a 40% chill effect on Pinnacle bosses. And this is because I have 614 damage from crits. The ailment threshold is 6 million. And I also have roughly 100% increased chill effect from all the things I have on my tree and whatever other sources of chill effect I might have. And here you can see that I indeed do 40% chill on Pinnacle. And then also conveniently, you can like see other figures as well. For example, if some enemy were to have a 1 billion ailment threshold, I would inflict the minimum chill effect of 5%. But usually what you care about is just this line here, the Pinnacle line. And then you can also see that like maybe if I were to remove this critical mastery, let's say I take this off, then my chill effect would go down. And you can see here in the new updated table that I am now only chilling pinnacle bosses for 30%, right? You can see that right there. So based on this table, if you are building your PoB based off of Shaper DPS, which I usually do, and that's what most people do, you can see that 40% chill is indeed realistic. So you can go ahead and just drop a 40 in your chill thingy there. So you can just put like 40 here, right? But before you do that, you need to calculate the your other ailments as well to make sure that your base hit is accurate. So here you'll go ahead and do shock next. So calculating your shock effect is basically the same thing as calculating chill. You would basically go here and look at your shock effect mod box over here. And here you can see we have crits only. We have 614 damage, same thing. But here you can see that I am only inflicting a 31% shock on pinnacle bosses, right? And this is just because my shock effect is like a little bit less than my chill effect. And I guess one thing that can be a source of confusion is like, for example, you know, if I enable shock here and if I toggle my critical mastery, you can see that it doesn't actually increase my damage if I have this on or off. And it's kind of annoying. But like if I were to remove it, you would see here in the shock effect mod table that now I'm only doing a 21% shock, which was previously like a 30% shock. So yeah, when you update your shock effect, you need to look at this table and then get the value that is correct and then update your PoB based on that value, which is 31%. So based on that, you can just safely put a 40 here and a 31 here. And again, if you have like a lightning damage build, maybe your real shock effect is going to be higher because your damage range is higher. But for PoB, in this case, I'm like a cold build, so I just put like a 31 here. And it is important to note as well that after I put a 31 in here, that actually caused my average hit to go up, right? So because that made my average hit go up, this table is now no longer accurate because now I'm suddenly shocking pinnacle bosses for 37%, but it's actually not correct because it inflated the number based on the shock value that I put in. So you got to make sure that your ailments are set to 0 before you look at this table. And yeah, and then there's always exceptions as well, right? There's always going to be exceptions. For example, the new elementalist makes it so that your shock effect is going to be a minimum of 25%. So if my minimum shock is 25% and I have 60% increased effect of shock, as you can see here, my minimum shock is actually 40%. 25% shock times 1.6 is 40%. So in this case, because I'm playing Elementalist in 3.26, I can make my shock 40. And I guess you can also learn something from this, which is that like, rather than investing into shock effect, you may as well just take advantage of the new Shaper of Storms node and just go with your, comfy base minimum shock effect of 40%. So yeah, there's that. And then if you hypothetically had other ailments as well, like Scorch, Brittle, Sap, they're calculated in exactly the same way. For example, if I had, what is the Secrets of Suffering thing? So Secrets of Suffering, this is from, I'm just trying to pull up the thingy, the interrogation. So like, let's go ahead and pull up interrogation. All right, so we have this, go here, put this in there. enable Seekers of Suffering. So now we can do Scorch, Brittle, and Sap. So you would calculate those in exactly the same way. You would basically go into your calcs and you go into your ailments. And then if you're calculating Scorch, you have a table for Scorch. And then for Brittle, you have a table for Brittle. And then in Sap, you have a table for Sap as well. But you do need to remember that, you cannot calculate one at a time. You have to calculate them all from the starting point of having 0 in every field, and then it would be accurate. So yeah, that's important to remember. And then also as like an add-on note, there are some mechanics that will like automatically calculate for you. Let me just like exit this and then go back in. There are some mechanics that will automatically calculate for you. For example, if I took like the old Shaper of Storms node, this one is minimum shock 15%, right? So if I enabled shock, this would automatically calculate the minimum shock value for me, as you see here. So like things like that are automatically calculated. And then if I were to like use skitterbots as well, let's say skitterbots, this also calculates the shock for you, because the game knows that you will have a minimum shock of like 15 plus the shock effect of the skitterbot. So this is also calculated for you in this case. So that is something to remember as well. And then Ignite is the easiest ailment of all. You don't have to ever worry about calculating Ignite yourself. The game will just calculate that for you if you play an Ignite build. So it's just a non-damaging ailments that you have to calculate like this. And yeah, I think that's basically it. So yeah, hopefully this helps you calculate ailments in your POBs. And yeah, I think that's going to be it. I guess as an add-on note, I was just thinking about Bone Chill actually, because Bone Chill is like the enemies will take increased damage based on the chill effect. I'm actually not sure how the Bone Chill works with ailments. Like, does this increased cold damage taken by chill effect matter for like chill or shock calculations? I would assume not, but I'm not sure. Maybe someone in the comments can confirm whether or not ailments are calculated based off of like a hit damage that includes the Bone Chill bonus damage. I don't know. I would assume that it doesn't though. But yeah. That's gonna be it for this video. Yep.